Hello, my fellow quarantine drinkers. It's time for another episode of GDP and the Pig. As you know, I'm GDP, and this is my pig. Today, we're not having pig for dinner. Actually, we're having steak for dinner. Big, beefy steaks, chuck steak and sirloin steak, some beautiful secret steaks. They're secret steaks. But with steak and potatoes, and we have some cauliflower. I'm going to fall back to the Cabernet that I was going to have the other day. It's this Beringer Rancho del Oso vineyard, Cabernet Sauvignon. Now, Beringer, this is 2005. It's a good, not great vintage. It's, for me, this is the right time to drink California Cabernet. Many modern California Cabernets kind of suck at this age. They're toast, they're done. This is holding up pretty nicely. I have to admit I have a soft spot for Beringer. Beringer has a lot of wine that's very cheap and that is made for immediate consumption, and it's perfectly fine, and they should be complimented on the quality of wine that they put into a bottle that they sell for $7 or $8 or $9, whatever it is. This is a premium wine, and I have to admit they do a good job. I'm a regular buyer of their private reserve Cabernet, not current release stuff, because I just don't have space in the cellar to sell California Cabernet anymore. That's not true. There are a few that I do, but very few. And it's cheaper to buy it used. It's cheaper to buy it 10, 15 years after the vintage. Let somebody else store it. Yes, you get some misses. This cork actually had a perfect seal. There was no penetration past the surface of the cork that came in contact with the wine, but the cork was like dust. You've had those corks. You put the corkscrew in, poof! It's like an explosion. It's crazy stuff. Anyway, so this is California Cabernet, Napa Valley, Howell Mountain. Howell Mountain is the core of the private reserve bottling. What am I looking for in Howell Mountain? It's rich and powerful without being opulent and jammy. It has a very distinct soil signature on the nose. This wine definitely was bigger and more powerful at one point. Today it smells earthy and blackcurranty, Cabernet-y, distinctly Cabernet for California, but not Bordeaux-like or not Italian Cabernet-like. There's a gentle herbaceousness. There's not like a pyrazine explosion here. There's still some toasty oak. It's well in the background at this point, but there's a creaminess underlying the nose. It's a bit of a strict wine. It has a slight austerity, which is both the vineyard and the vintage. Good length. It's not super complex. It's very satisfying. It's a perfect steak wine for what I'm doing tonight, and that's why I opened it. I think most people would enjoy these wines in a more youthful stage with more opulent fruit, but it gets to be too much for me. There's so much fruit in here. It's perfectly sufficient for my needs. It's Howell Mountain. The vineyard is around 1,800 feet above the valley floor, above sea level, I should say. So it's not as fruity. It's 14.5% alcohol, so it gets perfectly ripe. There's no problem ripening fruit there, but it's definitely a more angular wine. It's slightly more tannic wine. It has a lovely combination of 20% fading oak, 30% soil influence, 40% red currant, blackberry fruit, and then the last 10% is a little bit of a herbaceousness, a little bit of a spice note, herbal note. It's a very pleasant wine. It's a little more powerful, even at age 15, than I'm used to. But the finish is what I like this wine for. The finish is clean and long and layered and sort of feathered. Blackcurrant fruit, blackberry fruit, dark soil, dark dry soil, tobacco, and a little bit of oak spice, a little bit of oak tannin still here. Looking forward to my steaks tonight. I think tomorrow we'll be back into Italian kick. We have Barolo and then Chianti Classico lurking in the background here, and I can't wait to get to those. Until then, my friends, drink well. I'll see you guys soon.